Hi everyone. My name is Vuse. So we're back again, continuing our lectures on vectors. So this will be the last part. And then if you want me to add other things, other topics, there are certain topics that I skipped. But then if you are taught those sessions and then you want me to do those sessions, just on the comments, just comment and then I'll look into that. Otherwise, if it's your first time joining us, please do subscribe. Like the video if you like it as well, comment, and also press the notification bell so that you get notified whenever we upload a video. Otherwise, let's just look at the second part. So in the last video we did a dot product, so now we are going to do a cross product. Right now a cross product is now when you are, it's another way of multiplying a vector by a vector, right? But now in the last video we did a dot product, so a dot product was like this. Now this was a dot product. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to do a cross product. Right, now a cross product, in order for you to find it, it's going to be a vector. You need to find the magnitude of A, and then find the magnitude of B, and then sine of whatever the angle is between the two vectors. Okay, so you could write this as well as this. This could be the magnitude of A, so just write it like this, B, sine of theta. So whichever way, I use the second way. Some textbooks, for instance, and some lecturers will be using these magnitudes, and yeah, and they can just write it a little bit different. They can call it small letter A, X, Y, whatever it is that they choose to write. But I always try to make you guys aware so that you're not confused, that don't get confused when people are writing different symbols. You need to understand that they're still saying the same thing. Now this one is a little bit tricky because this gives you the magnitude. This is how you find the magnitude of the vector, right? This gives you the magnitude. But the direction, you will have to use what you call the right hand rule, right? So this is the right hand rule. That's what you have to do to find. That's what you have to use to find the direction. Now, in order to explain this, I used to know how to draw, but I'm very bad now. So I'll try my level best to draw so that you understand how to do this. All right. So let's see how to do this. Now I will draw a hand on the left, so you must use your right hand to find the direction, right? Now let me say I have two vectors. I have vector A and I have vector B. Let me not make them perpendicular to one another. This is vector A, then this is vector B, and the angle between the two vectors is theta. Now the question is, how do you find your direction, right? So I'll draw. So just take all your fingers. First thing that you do is take all your fingers. First step is take the fingers and then have the fingers pointing towards the first vector, right? So you have your fingers, all of them, pointing towards the first vector. And remember, you are using the right hand, right? So you are using the right hand, right? Of course, these are your nails. I know they don't look like your nails, but these are your nails, all right? So you're using the right hand. So the equation must say, find A cross B. All right, so if they say find A cross B, so the first vector is A. So your fingers must point towards A, all right? Now the second step is curl those fingers towards the second vector. All right, so you must curl those fingers towards the second vector. So what will happen is maybe your thumb will be left like this, and then you're going to have something like that, right? And then you're going to curl all your fingers towards the second vector. Now, since the second vector is actually, I'm drawing it incorrectly. I'm trying my level best to explain this without showing any pictures, so please bear with me. Alright, so the second step is you want to curl your fingers towards the second vector, right? So there's the second vector. So I'm going to have my fingers like that, and this is the second part. Okay. Alright, so there's my fingers towards the second vector. Okay, so I think now you get the picture, right? So of course my thumb will be doing something like this. Thumb will be here. So you must curl your four fingers. So this is the first vector A, and then you curl the second fingers towards the second vector B, right? Now, where your thumb is pointing, that is actually where the direction of A cross B is. So if you look at that, your thumb is actually pointing inside, right? So that would be like into the page. Alright, so your thumb is pointing inside the page. So if you look at this and then you just curl towards the first fingers, your thumb is going into the page. Now, there are ways you can you can basically tell us that something is going into the page. When something is going into the page, you denote it by this thing called the cross like this. So this is into the page, right? When it's coming towards outside the page, you just do it like this, and then this will be out of the page, right? So this is going to be important because the magnetic field, later on when we do magnetic fields, we use the cross product. When you do the torque, you use the cross product. So this is very important that you understand what the torque is. All right. So this is this, right? So this is into the page, and then this is out of the page. All right. So I will try and also do, it's just that the way I'm going to draw it. So an example whereby something can be out of the page, I can actually use the same similar example, same vectors, but now remember here you are finding A cross B. That's what you are finding here. Now, if I was to ask you to find, if using the same right-hand rule, if you had asked to find B cross A, so now you're no longer finding A cross B cross, and then you're finding this one now. So meaning that the first vector is going to be B, right? So what you're going to do is the first vector is B, so you're going to have the right hand, the four fingers going towards B, right? So what is going to happen is you're going to have your thumb here, and then you're going to have your four fingers pointing towards you. Your four fingers, the right hand side, remember, you're using the right hand side. You are going to have it pointing towards the. So there's your thumb. Already you can tell that your thumb is going to go out, right? There's your thumb. I know my drawings are very bad. Okay, right, there's your thumb, there's your right hand. Then of course afterwards you are going to curl it towards the second vector. So this is vector B, so it goes towards vector B. And then the next step is you curl your fingers towards the second vector, right? And then you just curl your fingers towards the second vector if you want, and then you can close it. So since the second vector is upwards, so your next step is going to be, I don't know why I'm so bad now with drawing. I think I will start practicing. Okay. Okay, and then okay. And then there's your hand here. I know it's taking long to explain this, but this is so that you understand. So you can see from this one that your thumb is pointing out. So the direction for this one will be into the page, which will be this. And then this one will be out of the page, which will be that. Alright, so that's the direction of the vector. So it's more like if you were to draw it, that vector will be going out like this. And then this will be vector B cross A. Whereas this one on top, it's just that it's not easy to draw these things. Whereas this one on top is perpendicular to this, so it will be going into the page like that, right? And then this one is perpendicular to that, is going out of the page like that. So this one is vector A cross of B. All right. So this is how you actually get the direction of the cross product. Then otherwise, to find the magnitude and to find the magnitude and find the angle between the two, it's done similar to how we did it when we found in the cross product. Okay, so let's just so it matters how your vectors are. Unfortunately on this one, sometimes you can have your cross product going down, you can have it going up, right? So it just depends. For instance, when you're opening a bottle, your cross product vector is going up. Then when you're closing the lid of a bottle, and then your cross product is going down. All right. So it just depends. It just depends on how it is, right? And then it's just that I can't draw it very nicely. Maybe I must find a proper way. But this is how you actually find it. You just take the first four fingers, point towards the first vector, and then curl the four fingers towards the second vector. Wherever your thumb is pointing, that's the direction of the cross product, right? And you are using the right-hand rule, so you must arrange your right-hand rule in such a way that it gives you this configuration. The first four vectors first point towards the first vector, you curl towards the second vector. Whatever the direction of your thumb is, then that is basically the direction of your vector. So let's just do an example. I know this lecture may be a bit confusing probably because of the direction. Now let's just do examples on this one. Let me say I have a vector A, and let's use the same values that we had before. Then I'm going to have a vector B, and vector B is 50 meters, and let's use 38 degrees. Same thing we had last time. So A cross B is going to be A. I don't know why I'm doing that. It's all right. AB, sine of whatever theta is. A is 40, B is 50. Then sine of the angle between the two vectors is 38. All right. And then you find that this thing is going to be equals to 40, 50, and then sine of 38. All right, and then this is going to be 1,231. Then this is going to be meters squared. Now, what about the direction? Take the first four fingers, then they go this way, and then afterwards curl them towards. So you curl them towards that vector, and then so now you have your fingers doing that. and then afterwards your thumb is going to be pointing inwards. So, and then you are going to say the direction of this one is going to be into the page. Alright, so we will understand what you're saying. So your lecturers will understand what you're saying when you're doing that. Alright, okay. Alright, so that is that. So this should be fine. Okay. Alright. Another thing that I want you to note before I leave is what happens if I wanted if you want B cross A. You find out if you want B cross A, you'll find that this is going to be the negative of A cross of B, meaning that the magnitude are going to be the same, but then the directions are going to be opposite each other. So B cross A, for instance, A cross B is going into the page, but B cross of A is going to go out of the page. The magnitude is going to be the same, right? Because this is going to be B multiplied by A sine of theta, which is the same as that. But then the direction is going to be going out. So you can see that the only thing that changes here is the direction. If we were to calculate this one, we will find the same value. For instance, we would say this is going to be 50 multiplied by 40 sine of 38. The only thing is now is going out, and then we do that, you're gonna get 231 meters per second. So that is why we're saying it's going to be the same as A cross of B in terms of the vector is going to be the same as that, but it's just going to be in the opposite direction, right? So it's the same magnitude, different direction. All right, so the direction is going to be out of the page. All right, so I'm not too worried at the moment about vectors that are going up or down, but then you could, like for instance, if you think about opening a lid of a bottle, I'll try my best to draw it. Right, there's a lid of a bottle. All right, and then there's the radius. All right, so when you want to open it, you must apply a force in that direction. All right, so you must apply a force in that direction, and then this is R. So it turns out if you find R cross F, right? So what will happen is you take your first four fingers. Your first four fingers are going to this is your thumb. Then your first four fingers are on the R direction. There's R. Right? Now, and then the next step is you're going to curl. Now this is not going up, it's going inside the page. I know I drew it like it's going up. It's not really going up. I don't know how to draw it such that it goes inside. Yeah, maybe let me do it like that. So then this is R. And then we draw something like that. Okay, and then we draw this. Yeah, maybe this is better. So this is F is going in, and then R, it's perpendicular to one another. So your first vector is R is going out. Second vector, you are going to curl your fingers in, so your thumb is going to remain up, and then you're going to have your fingers curled inside like that. And then this is your hand, right? So your fingers will be curled inside like that, and then it turns out that you're going to end up with your thumb pointing upwards, so which means that your cross product, which is going to be R in this case multiplied by F, is pointing upwards. I know I'm teaching you this in advance, right? So this is vector R, then this is vector F. I'm just trying to show you a practical example whereby you do have a vector, a cross product going up, and then you can, when you close it, it's gonna go down when you close it. For instance, when you close it, when you're closing the lid, when you are closing the lid, you still have R, so your force is gonna go out, and then there's your R vector here, and then there's your lid. So you can see here you have your right hand. Now you must twist it, and then it must look in a particular way, right? And then this is your hand, and then your thumb is gonna be like that. Then this is going to be your palm, basically, right? So you must twist your hand like that, and then you're going to have, you remember you're still finding R cross off F. So what you're going to do is you're going to have it, and then you're going to have your thumb is going to be facing down, and that is why then when you curl your fingers towards the second vector, which is F, this vector here, and then it's going to curl like that, and then you are actually going to have a situation whereby you are your thumb is going to be facing downwards. So I know this video is going to be long and not going to be as tidy as the other videos, but then that's how basically the cross product actually works. What I would advise is just go through some textbooks, go through some videos that you can find on the internet. Maybe they can show you pictures, when they are doing this. All right. Otherwise, if you can't find anything, maybe I might have to just shoot a video where I'm showing you the actual signs, doing it practically. All right, so I think that's it. And for this video, it's gonna be a bit long, and I apologize for that. Otherwise, this is the video. Then you guys can actually look at that and see if you understand. If you don't understand, you can just ask me on the questions, and then I'll see what to do to actually better give you a better explanation. All right, okay, so that's it, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, cheers.